Okay, YouTube, hello and welcome. Let's just wait, and we are live. Very good. So, today, a new sutta study. One of my absolute favorite suttas. This is one of those timeless suttas about seeing the Buddha and what it means to see the Buddha. And I think that's enough intro for this one. And to those of you who might not have heard this before or read this sutta before, I think you're going to find it very interesting and obviously amazing. So, with that said, let's just get right into it, and let's start by paying homage to the Blessed Lord Buddha. And so we say, Namo Buddhassa, or we could also say, Namo Buddhassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Tutyampi Namo Buddhassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Tutyampi Namo Buddhassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, and the rightly self-awakened one. 3 times. Okay, and that's enough intro. So, today, Samyutta Nikaya number 20 or 22, number 87, Vakali. Here we go. Everything should be ready and fine. Camera. I guess that's fine. We don't need to obsess about that. Okay. So, I'm reading from the screen since I don't have the Samyutta Nikaya on volume. So, I'll be reading from Sutta Central. Vakali. Thus have I heard. On one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha, in the bamboo grove, the squirrel's sanctuary. Now, on that occasion Venerable Vakali was dwelling in the potter's shed, sick, afflicted, and gravely ill. Then the Venerable Vakali addressed his attendants. Come, friends, approach the Blessed One, pay homage to him in my name with your head at his feet, and say, Venerable Sir, the Bhikkhu Vakali is sick, afflicted, gravely ill. He pays homage to the Blessed One with his head at his feet. And then say, it would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Blessed One would approach the Bhikkhu Vakali out of compassion. Just trying to make sure, excuse me, that I'm not breathing into the mic. Okay, hopefully this is alright. Please excuse any technical difficulties. Out of compassion. Yes, friend, those bhikkhus replied, and they approached the Blessed One and paid homage to him, sat down on one side, and delivered their message. The Blessed One consented by silence. Then the Blessed One dressed, and taking his bowl and robe, approached the Venerable Vakali. Then the Venerable Vakali saw the Blessed One coming in the distance, and stirred on his bed. The Blessed One said to him, Enough, Vakali, do not stir on your bed. There are these seats ready. I will sit down here. The Blessed One sat down on the appointed seat and said to the Venerable Vakali, I hope you're bearing up, Vakali. I hope you're getting better. I hope that your painful feelings are subsiding and not increasing, and that their subsiding, not increase, is to be discerned. Venerable Sir, I'm not bearing up, I'm not getting better. Strong, painful feelings are increasing in me, not subsiding, and their increase, not their subsiding, is to be discerned. I hope then, Wakali, that you are not troubled by remorse or regret. Indeed, Venerable Sir, I have quite a lot of remorse and regret. I hope, Wakali, that you have nothing for which to reproach yourself in regard to virtue. I have nothing, Venerable Sir, for which to reproach myself in regard to virtue. Then, Wakali, if you have nothing for which to reproach yourself in regard to virtue, why are you troubled by remorse and regret? For a long time, Venerable Sir, I have wanted to come to see the Blessed One, but I haven't been fit enough to do so. Enough, Wakali. Why do you want to see this foul body? One who sees the Dhamma sees me. One who sees me sees the Dhamma. For in seeing the Dhamma, Wakali, one sees me. And in seeing me, one sees the Dhamma. What do you think, Wakali? Is form permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Therefore, seeing thus, he understands. There is no more for this state of being. Then the Blessed One, having given his exhortation to the Venerable Wakali, rose from his seat and departed for Mount Vulture Peak. Then, not long after the Blessed One had left, the Venerable Wakali addressed his attendants thus: "Come, friends, lift me up on this bed, and carry me to the black rock on the Isigili slope. How can one like me think of dying among the houses?" So, I just want to maybe read this part again about seeing the Buddha. One who sees the Dhamma sees me. One who sees me sees the Dhamma. For in seeing the Dhamma, Wakali, one sees me. And in seeing me, one sees the Dhamma. Meaning that even if you were to see the Buddha walk right in front of you, you wouldn't actually be seeing the Buddha. Yet, if the Buddha was on the other side of the earth or the globe, and you were to practice, develop, and realize the Dhamma, in that case you would see the Buddha right at your location. And this is very important to keep in mind, because, well, think about it. In your daily life, when you're doing your activities, and when you live by the Dhamma, you can see the Buddha or you can see the Dhamma, and as you reflect on the Dhamma, you are making your daily life to be such a one that is in line with the Dhamma, and so you would be able to see the Buddha in everything you do. How you respond, how you think, and how you react to things. You should think that being in line with the Dhamma and not out of line, that you are in the company of the Buddha. So, those were just a few of my own thoughts. Let's continue. How can one like me think of dying among the houses? Yes, friend, those bhikkhus replied, and having lifted up the venerable Wakali on the bed, they carried him to the black rock on Isigili slope. The Blessed One spent the rest of that day and night on Mount Vulture Peak. Then the night was well advanced. 2 devatas of stunning beauty approached the Blessed One, illuminating the whole of Mount Vulture Peak. Standing to one side, one devata said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, the bhikkhu Wakali is intent on deliverance." The other devata said, "Surely, Venerable Sir, he will be liberated as one well liberated." This is what those devatas said. Having said this, they paid homage to the Blessed One. Keeping him on their right, they disappeared right there. And so what is a devata? A devata is like a deva, or an angel, or a god, if you will. And these heavenly or divine beings would often come and listen to the Buddha's sermons and teachings and talk to the Buddha as well, as we see here. So that is what it means, a devata. Sometimes they're just called devas, but in this case they're called a devata. That's not so important right now. And so they disappeared right there. Then, when the night had passed, the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus thus: "Come, bhikkhus, approach the bhikkhu Wakali and say to him, 'Friend Wakali, listen to the word of the Blessed One and 2 devatas. Last night, friend, when the night was well advanced, 2 devatas of stunning beauty approached the Blessed One and said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, the bhikkhu Wakali is intent on deliverance." The other devata said, "Surely, Venerable Sir, he will be liberated as one well liberated," meaning one who has realized Nibbana. And the Blessed One says to you, friend Wakali, "Do not be afraid, Wakali. Do not be afraid. Your death will not be a bad one. Your demise will not be a bad one." "Yes, Venerable Sir," those bhikkhus replied, and they approached the Venerable Wakali and said to him, "Friend Wakali, listen to the words of the Blessed One and 2 devatas." Then the Venerable Wakali addressed his attendants, "Come, friends, lower me from the bed. How can one like me think of listening to the Blessed One's teachings while seated on a high seat?" "Yes, friend," those bhikkhus replied, and lowered the Venerable Wakali from the bed. Last night, friend, 2 devatas of stunning beauty approached the Blessed One. One devata said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, the bhikkhu Wakali is intent on deliverance." The other devata said, "Surely, Venerable Sir, he will be liberated as one well liberated." And the Blessed One says to you, friend Wakali, "Do not be afraid, Wakali. Do not be afraid. Your death will not be a bad one. Your demise will not be a bad one." Well then, friends, pay homage to the Blessed One in my name, and with your head at his feet say, "Venerable Sir, the bhikkhu Wakali is sick, afflicted, gravely ill." He pays homage to the Blessed One with his head at his feet, and then say, "Form is impermanent. I have no perplexity about this. Venerable Sir, I do not doubt that whatever is impermanent is suffering. I do not doubt that in regard to what is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, I have no more lust or affection. Let me just read this again. I do not doubt that in regard to what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, I have no more lust, no more desire, lust, or affection. Excuse me. Feeling is impermanent. Perception is impermanent. Volitional formations are impermanent. Consciousness is impermanent. I have no perplexity about this. Venerable Sir, I do not doubt that whatever is impermanent is suffering. I do not doubt that in regard to what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, I have no more desire, lust of affection, or affection. Yes, friend, those bhikkhus replied, and then they departed. Then, not long after those bhikkhus had left, the Venerable Wakali used the knife. Then those bhikkhus approached the Blessed One and delivered their message. The Blessed One then addressed the bhikkhus thus: Come, bhikkhus, let us go to the black rock on the Isikili slope, where the clansman Wakali has used the knife. Yes, Venerable Sir. Those bhikkhus replied. Then the Blessed One, together with a number of bhikkhus, went to the black rock on the Isikili slope. The Blessed One saw in the distance the Venerable Wakali lying on the bed with his shoulder turned. Now, on that occasion, a cloud of smoke, a swirl of darkness, was moving to the east, then to the west, to the north, to the south, upwards, downwards, and to the intermediate quarters. Then the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus thus: Do you see, bhikkhus, that cloud of smoke, the swirl of darkness? That swirl of darkness, moving to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, upwards, downwards, and to the intermediate quarters. Yes, Venerable Sir, that bhikkhus is Mara, the evil one searching for the consciousness of the clansman Wakali, wondering, where now has the consciousness of the clansman Wakali been established? However, bhikkhus, with consciousness unestablished, the clansman Wakali has attained final nibbana. Sadhu. And so we can see here that after the death of the Venerable Wakali, Mara was thinking to trace him down and see where he had gone, or where he had arisen, or where he had been born after his death. Yet Mara could not trace him. Wakali had become traceless. He was no longer in the domain of Mara, beyond Mara's sight. He had blinded Mara. He had entered the deathless, no longer in the domain of the King of Death. And so Mara had to give up looking for him, and the reason being for that, as the Buddha says, that bhikkhus is Mara, the evil one, searching for the consciousness of the clansman Wakali, wondering, Where now has the consciousness of the clansman Wakali been established? However, because with consciousness unestablished, the clansman Wakali has attained final Nibbana. And that is what the Blessed One said. And that is all for today. Just a short sutta on seeing the Buddha. And so, I just want to add that those that are the sons and daughters of the Buddha, they rightly say, I see the Buddha. They even rightly say that I touch the Buddha. And so, I hope this sutta, very, very famous sutta, timeless and amazing, might inspire and bring about much happiness into your own life. And also that you may yourself go beyond the grasp of Mara and escape Mara's domain. Mara who can trace the consciousness of all beings still in his domain. But he cannot trace those that have gone beyond Mara, who have realized the Dhamma. Anyone who sees the Buddha is beyond Mara's grasp. For the most part, Mara is very, very powerful. So even Sotapannas, people who are enlightened, but not fully enlightened or perfected, you might say, they can still fall under the influence of Mara and possibly be deceived. But they cannot fall into a bad destination or birth. So even that Mara should possess monks or someone who is enlightened to the first stage, Mara cannot make them do something that will ever take them away from the Buddha, since they are enlightened. And so someone who is enlightened, maybe not perfectly yet, but surely enlightened, they have destroyed all opportunity for Mara to take them under control or they have destroyed the chance opportunity to ever fall into a bad birth or a bad destination, meaning birth in hell, birth as a ghost or a demon, birth as an animal. And for Sotapannas, they can still become humans or angels or Brahmas, Devas. But they cannot fall into states of woe. And I think that's quite enough said from me. So, with that said, have a wonderful day, and may the Triple Gem bless you. Sadhu.